Hello, everyone. I'm Peggy Beauregard, and this is the Nest Egg Builder Show. And I am super excited, so excited that we have Casey Eberhart on today, who is going to talk to us about networking and how important networking is. And so he's going to give us some tips about some ways to network. And then, we'll go to our usual questions and answers, because how we learn is by really understanding what someone's talking about. So as soon as Kevin gets on, we will take this away. So Casey, I've known Casey for 7-8 years now, and Casey runs a mastermind group. I met him through something called Networking Riches. Networking Riches opened doors for me. I learned a lot more about networking than I actually knew. I went to a lot of meetings, but I really didn't realize that there's a process. And when you have a process in place, you can be far more successful. And he opened this up to a platinum inner circle, so a mastermind group. And I joined the mastermind group, but I've been in that ever since, so 8 years. And I'm just so excited and thrilled that Casey has joined us. So thank you, Casey, very much for coming. Happy New Year to you. And please talk to us about how important networking is and where it could take us.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, Peggy, it is, I'm sitting here just beaming. I've been so excited about this all day today, because I just know, and having watched you and known you over the past 7 or 8 years, and watching what you've really been able to do and the mark you've made in the real estate profession, as well as really helping change a lot of minds on the investor side and on the deal maker side. It's an incredible honor to watch and be right by your side as you kind of help explore this and grow this and bust open doors and bust open windows of opportunity. It's absolutely awesome. So thank you so much for inviting me on to participate. So with that, you guys, look, I'll give you a quick 30-second intro on me. None of you care, doesn't matter. Anything I've done in my past, the only thing that really matters is if you walk away feeling like you have something that you can latch onto to take into your real estate business or whatever else business that you happen to run. So I live in Los Angeles, California. My entire life has been built on buying, selling, building, advising, and investing in companies and investment opportunities. I've played in the real estate space for many, many years. In 2007, I built 26 houses out in Las Vegas. I at one point controlled 80 to 90 lots out of a 110 lot neighborhood out in Las Vegas. I bought and sold properties. I bought and sold real estate. I've done hard money lending, all basically the gamut. I've done it. I've got some stuff going on right now in terms of syndication deals, in terms of stuff that I've not only invested in, but also I'm a big referral partner. And really when it all comes down to, or the concept that it all really comes down to, is networking. And really, if you think about networking, it's something that most people, when I do big presentations, I'll say, how many people absolutely get up excited to go to a networking event? And about 1% of hands go up. And most people don't enjoy it. They don't like it. They might say they do, but what they really like is the social aspect. And so really, I kind of sat back and realized that a lot of times, a lot of deals were coming to me or coming through my desk that most people didn't have opportunities to even look at. And I just started kind of taking notes on how I was operating a business and how those opportunities were coming. And at the end of the day, they almost all came from referrals and people inside of a network versus, going on LoopNet. Right? I mean, we all recognize that LoopNet is where deals go to die. I'm assuming that is most people's experience so far. So today, what I wanted to do is really kind of just set the groundwork. I operate way more in a Q&A conversational type environment. I think that's where we can actually have some fun and really see about cracking open this code of networking. So I'll tell you, there's nothing to buy. There's nothing. I'm not selling anything. I'm just here to kind of help support Peggy in this. There is an invitation at the end if you want to come to our Networking Riches event, January 22nd, 23rd. Love to have you come. Peggy, because she's part of our mastermind, has free tickets, so you can come and participate and really kind of dive in here and dig deep. So it's free. I love doing it. It's a great chance. It's kind of a networking event inside of a networking event. And this one is going to be really cool in that it's really going to be designed to help you network your way to your next 6 figures. Okay. So look, oh, awesome, Stacy. I'm super excited. That's awesome. We're gonna have a blast. I promise you. If nothing more, you'll laugh a lot. You'll have some fun, and you'll hear some really bad jokes that I've told for 7 years that I'm just now starting to get the timing down on. So ask Kathy; she'll tell you. So look, you guys. Here's the thing: networking, the network that you control, the network that you sit on top of, is your best opportunity to extract deals and deal flow than probably pretty much anything else. I like to say that connectivity is today's new currency, right? Some people will argue that cryptocurrency is today's new currency, but I'm going to make the argument that connectivity is today's new currency, right? And so those people, those networks in which we're connected to are vitally important. But how is it that Peggy can walk into a room and everyone knows who she is before she ever steps foot in the room, and somebody that competes with her can walk into a room for 15, 20 years and nobody knows who the heck they are? Oh my gosh, now that Kristen's on here, we got to like close this operation up. Now that the Berman's on track here, now we got to shut this thing down. We can no longer do that. Hey, Kristen, how are you? So we know each other. I didn't just pick her out. I didn't just pick her out of a crowd.
Sorry, I had some background noise going on.
No worries. No
Oh,
worries.
great to see you. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to see you as well. So look, here's the thing. If we break networking down, it really comes down to having a plan of action and an intention going into any networking event, whether it's the Nest Egg Builder Show here, or your local chamber, or your local real estate meetup, or your local whatever you go to. Having a plan in place is critically important, right? So at the end of the day, here is kind of how I like to lay out the plan. The plan really comes down to 3 different components, and we're going to really focus on one of those 3 components today. So there's 3 components to any business. Any business, it's one of these 3 actions: expand the list, expand the business, and expand the wealth, right? And that's really what it comes down to. Expand the wealth. Those are your investments. Those are your dealing with Peggy, right? Building out the business, your own business, that middle section, that's all the operations of your own business. What does your deal flow look like? What are you looking at? What are you not looking at? What are you interested in? What are you not interested in? Sort of think of it this way as sort of your deal flow, right? But the expand the list, and I'll even rephrase it as expand the list of, and use that as kind of the framework. And that is, are you intentional and on purpose building different lists in your business? Okay. Now, the easy one that every marketer will tell you is that the money is in the list. The money is in the email list. That email list is a list that you own. Everything else is a rented list. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you are networking on Facebook, you own a Facebook group, you're building out a Facebook profile and your LinkedIn profile and your TikTok, and your Snapchat and all of that, those are rented. They can very easily click a button and make you go away, right? I have 2 clients right now in our mastermind program that it took them a year to rebuild after Facebook just went boop, and they were done, right? But the email list is where the money is. So if we know that, the idea should be that we go from rented lists or rented spaces and bring them into an asset, which is our email list, okay? Once we have that email list, now we have the ability to nurture those folks and have them raise their hand at the point in time that they're ready, okay? So I'm going to use Peggy as an example here just because it's easy and I work with her and I kind of know the business model. Peggy really has 2 or 3 different kinds of clients that she facilitates and works with, right? Number 1, she has investors. She's got a group of us that she's identified as people that have money, that are willing to, interested in, maybe someday, gonna get around to it, might someday, wishes they could, whatever, invest in real estate, right? That's one list that she has. The other list are all the, let's call them deal makers, the ones that have properties or have opportunities that they're looking to have her help raise funds for. Okay, that's another list. We then also probably have a referral partner list. These are people that don't get it. They're not probably ever going to invest in real estate. They don't even know how to say 401k. They don't know what an IRA stands for, but they're really cool people, right? And we might teach and train them. We might educate them a little bit, and we'll bring them into the investor category. Or we can say, hey, Clarence, do you know of anything coming up? Hey, Cliff, we're always looking to support multifamily deals in Nevada. If you ever hear of anything, let us know. It's that communication with that list or that network that's really valuable. So number one is when you go to a networking event, instead of trying to sell something to someone, which nobody is there to buy. I mean, like, look, let me just see a show of hands. Anybody here go to networking events with their checkbook and their Visa card open, ready to buy stuff like the second you walk in the door? No, everybody's got a smile. Clarence says, Clarence, I have got a fantastic meeting for you. Just go set up some time with me. Come with your credit card. I take Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, Traveler's Checks, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, whatever you want.
I'm very selective, Casey. You haven't passed yet.
Perfect. Right? So most of us are not going to an event to buy anything. But how many times do we go to an event and there are people that are selling stuff? Almost all the time. So really what you end up having is this weird dichotomy of you have all these people that are there selling stuff to people that aren't there to buy anything. And they're not really there to buy anything because a lot of them are trying to sell their same stuff to the same people that are there not trying to buy anything. Right? So first off, let's take the pressure a little bit off of ourselves and go, hey, look, why don't we go in and let's just look and see how we can add value to those folks that we believe either can help us out or have a higher level of influence, okay? Now, I'm not suggesting that you don't not talk to people or that I don't want you to shun people, but all things being held constant or all things being held even, if I'm gonna network or I'm gonna go take someone to coffee or I'm gonna go really put forth some energy units in building a relationship with someone, I want somebody that is either connected, has some door opening ability, maybe they have influence in the organization, so that gets leveraged later on, right? So I've taught Peggy and Kathy this until we're blue in the face. And Marcy as well. Look, there are some certain people at different events that I would just kind of gravitate towards. Number one, the speakers, right? Those speakers, the people that are speaking at events, as a speaker myself, I can tell you, we are always looking for points of connectivity inside of a room that we're speaking at, whether it's on Zoom or not, right? So one thing I give you just like an easy win here. Mark, if you're going to an event and I don't know, Johnny Sixpack is the speaker, and because they promo it all the time, they say, hey, Johnny Sixpack has written 17 books. Go spend $20, buy a couple of their books, walk into the event and say, hey, Johnny, I bought a couple of your books. I would love for you to autograph a couple of them, one to two of my top clients and one to me and my kid, or one to me. I promise you, just that small act alone is probably more likely going to get you mentioned from stage than almost anything else. It's going to cost you $20. You now got 2 books that you could give out to 2 of your top clients. It's kind of a win-win-win, right? Worst case, don't have them sign it to anything and turn around and sell the books on eBay and recapture a little bit of your cash if you need to, right? But it's an easy way to cycle out, right? Number 2, I always recommend getting to know the organizers of these events really well, right? So if Nika is going and she is going to a conference where there are a bunch of family office owners, what's going to be more valuable to her long-term? Going in and bumping away, playing pinball, just kind of bumping in, hoping she connects with the right family office influencer, or getting a step back, understanding who the organizers are, what makes them tick, knowing that they know everybody in the room. They know who's jerks, they know who's cool, they know who pays their bills, they know who doesn't have any money, they know all of that stuff. I'm going to rather opt for, let's get to know the organizers of these events, right? And then finally, I'm always looking for, especially in the real estate rooms, this is going to sound counterintuitive, but I'm almost always looking for the people that are quiet. Because the people that are loud are the ones that flap their gums a lot and tell these big stories and have all these big things. But there are a lot of women sit in the back of the room with their arms folded. They're the deal makers. They're the ones that really have the stuff going on. So if we just look at how do we serve those folks, things become a whole lot easier. Does that make sense, you guys? And I know it seems a little bit counterintuitive, but when you walk into a room, you know, Kristen walks into a room and she's selling a life insurance product, an investable life insurance product, and she walks into a room, she's competing with maybe 3, 4, 5 other people that do something similar in the same vein, right? And what are they doing? They're bumping around trying to figure out who they can schedule a one-on-one call with so they can sell them life insurance, so they can sell them this investment, right? At the end of the day, if she were to walk in and Peggy's the speaker and she walks in and she goes, Peggy, oh my gosh, here's 3 copies of your books. I'd love to have you sign these. I already read through the Happy book. It's so amazing and awesome. Hey, how can I help you when you're up speaking? Can I ask you a particular question that'll help you sell more books? Is there something I can do to help? I promise you that bond is going to go a long way. Now, when Peggy gets nervous and she doesn't know who to back into or who to talk, oh, you guys got to know Kristen. At that nanosecond where Peggy mentions Kristen from stage, Kristen can't buy that publicity. She can't buy that influence and she can't buy that leverage. It's going to be a lot different than if she stands up and goes, hey, my name's Kristen and I sell this and this and this and this and this. Does that make sense, you guys? So, you know, it's just putting a process together and knowing what to do before you walk into an event, what you do at an event, and what you do to walk out of the event. And it really comes down to where can we build those relationships that have a point of leverage to them. And the more leverage we have in our network, the better off we are, right? And here's the final thought I'll leave you with. Then we'll open up Q&A because that's more fun. You know, I was on Facebook yesterday and a buddy of mine wrote a comment on another friend of mine's post. I had no idea they knew each other. Well, as soon as I stepped in, both of them were like, wait, how do you know Casey? And then if you watched what happened, like the next 15 comments were people in that post that knew me, that were friends of mine. Then they were talking about how they all know me. And then it just turned into this whole like love fest for me. And I was like, I'm just some yahoo, right? But it was because both of them are influential and I built a relationship with both of them, not needing anything from them in the beginning. Okay, so let's open it up. Let's kind of dive in. Tell me what you guys do for a living. Tell me about a little bit about your business, and then let's see if we can give you some ideas on how we can help build this influential network. And it looks like Peggy put in the upper in the chat a link if you guys are interested in joining Networking Riches. It's going to be a hoot.
Oh,
So
we should put the date. It's January 22nd, right?
Yep, 22nd and 23rd.
All right.
Yeah, so who has a question or a comment or a thought or an idea? It's going to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about your business as well. Try not to all talk at once. The Zoom will break if you all try to take yourself off mute at the same time.
I had a question. I missed the first few minutes. Who are you?
This is Seema. Seema,
Sorry.
this is Casey Eberhart.
Hi.
Hi, Seema. So my name's Casey Eberhart. I am, well, I don't even know, I don't know how to answer that. I'm just Peggy's dude.
He's
Okay.
he's a speaker. He goes around the world
Okay.
and speaks. He runs a mastermind, which I happen to be in. And he is well connected to a lot of different people. He's been invested in real estate for years and years. Actually, he's one of those kind of people. I think I identify with Casey because he's you might call him a jack of all trades. He's run a lot of different kinds of companies. I was in the garment industry for many years. Casey ran the you call them a perspiration salon.
Some people call it a sweatshop. I call them in marketing, so it's a perspiration salon. We made 4,000 pair of women's pants a day, 135 sewers right here in Los Angeles. It was actually kind of a funny experience now that I've gone through 20 years of therapy. But you know, there's the stories of rags to riches. I went from riches to rags. I want to write a book called How to Lose 100 Grand a Month with Hardly Even Trying. You open it up and it says buy clothing manufacturing business. Very simple. It's a very simple process. So lots of lessons learned. Oh, now that Paul Russo is here, now we can really ramp this operation up. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how's it
Hey,
going?
thanks for joining, Paul. Yeah, so
No
one of
problem.
the things that we, if any of you have any thoughts around this, is because, I mean, Casey's gone around live doing a lot of well, we've all gone live networking, right? And you're bumping into people, but now we're doing a lot of it online. And how we do online is we meet people, talk to people online. We're in regular meetings where you don't really get a lot of time to talk. So we get on the chat and we connect with each other, and then we set up a time to talk. And we get back on Zoom on a one-to-one. We interview people and we put that interview and put it out to our database so that they can meet the people that we know, so we could support them in them growing their business. So we do different things for different people. Like you, most of you know that we work with syndicators. We will take their webinar of whatever their particular, let's say multifamily is, and we will put that out to our database so that they can watch it. And if they have an interest, they can call us and then get involved in it, or we'll invite them to the webinar itself. So how we support other people, what will make their business grow, that's what's really important. How do you support other people in having their business grow?
Yeah, I think, Peggy, one of the things that you've done an amazing job at, you know, Paul has done an amazing job at this, Kathy has done an amazing job at this as well, is, and same with Marcy, is taking the approach that you are a resource to folks and a resource to people's business rather than a liability or a vendor, right? So if you go into a business, a conversation, and that person sees you as a sales rep, whatever you're selling, at the end of the day, it's going to be very difficult in order for you to hit all those requirement points in order for them to say yes, right? However, if people feel you are a valuable resource, like Peggy, right? She does a show like this. She's bringing the community together. She's always posting. She's always promoting. People see her as a resource. So when they have a deal that's going bad, or they have a partnership that they want her to talk about, or they have a syndication that they want to pitch to her, she's a resource. I want her to be the go-to person in this community so that everybody knows that if they need a question answered, they go to Peggy, not just she does this over here and nothing else. Right? So even though you can have a heavy emphasis in tax liens or 401ks or Roth IRAs or multifamily or duplexes or whatever, build yourself as a resource. And if you had an email list, think about it. If Aiden had an email list and he hears about a deal coming up, he can send out an email to his entire list that says, hey, anybody interested in buying a trailer home in Auburn, Washington, here's a couple of the deal points. If you're interested, ping me back. Hey, I just got a lead on a tax lien certificate that's coming out of Atlanta, Georgia. Here's the deal. Anybody interested, let me know. Having that email list in place where you can communicate with that group of people, that makes you an asset, because Tony is out driving a FedEx truck somewhere out in the Mideast or Midwest or somewhere out in Ohio or Iowa or somewhere. But what if Jennifer was looking for a property on Tony's route? Tony says, hey, I'm out driving all over the place. Tell me what you guys are looking for. He drives by the ideal property, he just takes a picture with his cell phone, pings it over to Jennifer. Now we have a deal that could potentially be done, but we won't know that unless we're actually connected. Right? So I'll give you guys a quick little fun thing to do. If you don't know this about Zoom, in the bottom right corner, if you're on a desktop, there's 3 little dots. When you click that, it is going to give you the ability to save chat, right? So here's something that some of us do. When you're on an event like this and the host says, hey, if you guys want to connect with each other, put your information in the chat, and then that way you can be connected. So what does everybody do? They put their phone number and their email address and everything in the chat. At the end of the chat, just go click those 3 little dots and save the chat. Now you've got it. Now go connect with them on all the social media. Send them an email. Be that person that's proactive.
Hey, and if you really want to be lazy like me, you put under your name, you put your phone number and your email address, and then when you put anything in the chat, it's already there. So you don't need to put any of your own contact information because it's there. You just put what you want to talk about or how you could support or ask the question of how could we support you in the success of your company, or what's one thing we could do for you to grow your company, or who are you looking for that would add to your company? Do you have a certain kind of investor you're looking for? Are you looking for another kind of property? And things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Clarence?
I'm the guy that shows up at these events with a notebook. And I sit there and I'll take notes on everybody that's talking. You know, Nika's talking about multifamily. Tony's talking about vacant land. Kathy's talking about you know, investing in insurance. Tina's talking about, you know, selling on eBay. Stacy's talking about, you know, becoming a veterinarian, whatever. I'm taking all those notes down on a piece of paper at any given time so that when I do any follow-up afterwards, I have a connection point.
And Cliff has a question, and I would think Clarence has a question. He's really great at having questions. So go ahead, Cliff.
One second. So yeah, my question is, I do a lot of networking on LinkedIn right now. And in LinkedIn, when I make those connections, we're typically doing a short virtual coffee chat for maybe 15, 30 minutes. I guess a couple of questions. What's the best way to transition into what we're really moving towards and do it in a tactful way? And then what's a great way to make a lasting impression so that the relationship continues?
Yeah, awesome. Both great questions. So on LinkedIn, there's something that you can do, Cliff, that I don't think a lot of people do that I think is just hugely valuable. Is I would, first off, my intention after meeting somebody on a LinkedIn chat would be to get them into a group that you connect with and build. Maybe you call it, you know, Cliff's Corner, right? Or whatever. So that when you meet with somebody, everybody in that group you've met with, and you let them network and connect with each other, you sit on top of that group. But the hot thing is you can actually send an email to everybody in that group once a week through LinkedIn, which means it's a trusted website, which means they open the emails up more than you even needing them on your list. So that's number one. And then you can put in like a PDF or some kind of, go to Google Images and type in like, you know, real estate note infographic. Go grab an infographic that somebody's done and post that once a week in that group. You're adding value in there, right? Number two, how do we transition to what we're actually doing there? The easy way to do it, Cliff, if you find yourself getting in these conversations and they're sort of getting all off track and you kind of find yourself meandering, that's what I do, I kind of go all over the map, is print up or print out on a piece of paper 5 or 6 questions that are going to allow you to better serve that person and figure out where they need to go in your different list buckets, right? So if you and I are talking, I say, hey, Cliff, I'll tell you what, I got this little piece of paper here that I've got 5 questions that just before we get off the phone, I need to make sure that we get all these answered. It's going to really help me help you better. So tell me a little bit about your business. Tell me a little bit about your family, what you do, where you're going, your 954, which I think is Florida. Is that right? Right, tell me, why do you live in Florida? What's good about Florida? What do you hate about Florida? Blah, 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 blah. When you get close and you know that the time is coming to an end, hey, Cliff, oh my gosh, we got so off. This has been such a great conversation. Hey, can I ask you these quick 5 questions just to make sure I know how to serve you best? Right? Boom. What are your 5 quick questions? Make them super easy so that you can get them. Now, at the very least, you've got the gas bag and you've walked away with the information that you need. Right? Now, the next thing, and to me, this is critically important in the real estate space. I would find a service that allows you to send personalized gifts to that person, whether it's greeting cards or candy or gifts. There's a couple of them out there. Peggy uses the same one I use. So you can reach out to her and she can help get you started in that. But you know, it's a great way that, for example, you know, think about if you met somebody and you sent them this iPad foldable phone holder, but it has their name right on it. Right? This sucker sits right off my computer at all times. Every time I do a show, Peggy has one right there that says, Peggy, these are the phone holders, right? And now they have an iPad holder. Okay. So you can do something like that. Here's what's cool about that, Cliff. Let's say, for example, I wish I had something right here. Let's say you sent like some brownies to someone that just said, hey, I'm just trying to get on your good side, or I'm just trying to get brownie points, or whatever fun little thing you want to make it. And you send it. We're just trying to keep the post office and FedEx in business, right? But you send that. Here's what happens. Now on your next call, when you're in an environment like this, oh my gosh, you guys should have seen what Cliff sent me. He sent me this really cool. You watched what just happened. If you notice, gang, what just happened when I held up that phone holder, everybody on this call that has received one all started holding it up. That means it's on their desk. It doesn't go anywhere. It's on their desk. That wasn't even planned. That's what made that just even cooler for me, is that it wasn't even planned, right? I mean, imagine, this is a bad example, but you know, I've played the cryptocurrency market since 2017. So I had a friend that sent me this Bitcoin mug, says Casey been hodling since 2017 with my name on it. It's like $12 to send a coffee mug that you completely personalize and design. Think about what that looks like when you either walk into an event or you come back on a Zoom after having sent somebody a $9 batch of brownies, or, you know, apple slices, or a charcuterie board with their name on it, right?
Oh, and you should see what Paul Rousseau sends out, because he has Paul, where'd you go? He has this product called iPad Better. So I sent a gift out to someone, and I got a thank you from Paul. The card said, thanks a whole lot, and it was HOLE. Thought that was very cute, very well done around his business. So he sent a thank you card that was, you would remember what the business is because of the card, way he sent the card.
And
Wait,
I don't mean to make
Peggy
it
sent you gifts? Peggy sends people gifts? I didn't get a gift.
well, Seema, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you put your address and either private message me your mailing address, or private message Peggy your mailing address, and then in about 4 days, go to your mailbox.
I am so ungrateful. Well, she did take us out for lunch, though, she and Cliff. So, I mean, I
was
shouldn't
about to
really
say, we
complain.
gave you a lot of Kava Sangria.
I know.
Yeah, we only flew 3,000 miles to take you out.
Yeah, no, I know. I am so ungrateful, really. I know.
Oh, we'll make sure you get one of those, Seema. Casey, though, I wanted to, and then we have Paul has a question. I remember when you first were talking about having a conversation. So how the conversation you have with people, because when you said, does anyone have any questions, and nobody came up with anything, you used to have the 4 things you talked about, and you did them in order, and I can't remember the order, but one of them was family.
It's the word is form. So for me, I like to take notes when I'm talking to somebody. So if I meet Marcy for the first time, oh, Dr. Renee's on here. Hey, Renee.
Yes.
You know, or let's say I'm talking with Dr. Renee and I'm at a networking event, or I'm even on Zoom and I get stymied. I can't figure out what to say next. I flip into the word form. It's literally probably the oldest networking trick of the trade, right? But it's 4 letters, FORM, family, occupation, recreation, money, right? So Paul, tell me about you and Susie. What's going on? How's Susie doing? Tell me about what you got going on. I'm asking him about his family. The minute he exhausts himself and tell me about how amazing his unbelievable cool wife is, then it's like, oh crap, I don't know what to ask about next. Oh, occupation. Hey, so what do you got going on, Paul? Tell me about your business. Right? Then I've got him exhausted talking about his actual business. So we switch it up again. And Paul, I know you're down there in Texas. What the heck is there to do that's fun down there in Texas? How's the weather? What's recreation? What does he like to do? Right? Because if I can find out what he likes to do and I get him talking about himself, he's automatically going to think I'm a nice guy. But yet all I've done is ask him questions and allowed him to talk about himself. And I like to do the money conversation is just how's business? And I'll tell you why I particularly like that question, how's business? Because at the end of the day, it's almost like an audition process, right? If I meet Tina for the first time, I'm auditioning her to figure out whether or not she's somebody that I would want to do business with. So if I say to Tina, hey, Tina, so how's business? And she goes like this, oh, it totally sucks. Oh, I got to work with people like Peggy. It's terrible. To the pandemic, this, and the government, this, and the interest rates, and just the business sucks. Like, who wants to do business with that? That's an easy one. Tina, you know what? Let me put you on my email list. I'll ping you out when we've got stuff going on. Right? But then I go talk to Peggy. And I'm like, hey, Peggy, how's business? Oh my gosh, it's absolutely awesome. We've got more deals than we know what to do with. We're helping so many people. My business is on fire. We're having so much fun helping investors. Like, it's absolutely insane what's going on in the real estate space.
We already booked for the year and we're only in the second day.
Yeah. So the next step is you better show up like you want to do business with yourself. And I'll give you one little thing that you can all do, a little homework assignment. A little homework assignment for y'all when we're done here. Pick up your phone and call yourself. Call yourself and listen to your voicemail and ask yourself, would you do business with you? Right? If Aiden calls his voicemail, it's like, hi, this is Aiden. Just go ahead and leave me a name and number, and I might get back to you because, I don't got a whole lot going on. So if I get up off the couch today, maybe I'll call you, maybe I won't. Right? Versus if you call yourself, you're like, hey, this is Paul. I want to just say, hey, what a great day it is today. Hey, I'm out helping people not only build cryptocurrency, but iPutt Better is a great new tool helping putters all over the world come closer to hitting that almighty hole in one. So you know how you can give me a hole in one? Leave me a name and number and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. Right? The energy, because our voicemail is attention. That's an attention span, right? I mean, this is how I equate it, right? I heard a speaker friend of mine, Gary, say this one time, that a Super Bowl ad is millions of dollars for a 30-second ad. Some of our voicemails are 15 seconds. Are you making that investable for someone? Right? So if you have some multi-deal going on, right? Or let's say I like a mortgage broker. I work with a mortgage broker. This was an easy win for us, right? So we changed her voicemail every single morning.
Ooh.
Hey, this is Marlene from blah, blah, blah mortgage. I just want to let you know that the 15-year rate is this, the 30-year fixed rate is this, the 30-year blah, blah, blah rate is this, the FHA, the VHA is this. Hey, if you need my help, just leave me a name and number and I'll call you back within 6 hours. And she did that every single morning. And then what we did was we trained all the realtors in her area to program her phone and told them we would never answer the phone. But while they were with clients, they could ring her, put her on speaker, and they could get the rates. And if they needed help right then on the spot, they would. It took all of her phone call chitty chat with realtors that were trying to sell a house at the time, right? Because what happens, you get a mortgage broker on the phone, they're trying to sell the person a loan, right? Now, if Clarence is out taking that person for trying to sell them a house or sell them a deal or look at a deal, and a mortgage person steps in, you're not going to call the mortgage person. So that's why we said, hey, just leave a number, we'll call you back. Help the realtors, help the mortgage team, and her business flourished, right? So call yourself, ask yourself, would you do business with you?
Thanks. Anybody have any comments or thoughts? I know you were all thinking, and Paul.
I got a couple things. One of the things that Casey said rings true for me is looking around. What can you do to soar at other people? Some of the things that I do is if I'm out running around and I can get to my phone like I'm walking or something, and I see a sign or something that I think might help someone, just take a picture, text it to them, say, hey, I saw this sign. I thought it's something that you might be interested, or it's in your wheelhouse, or, something like that. And we have to be kind of more aware of what we're doing. I mean, I know a lot of us are driving, we have to be aware, but you can still look around. When I drove a school bus, I was looking for firewood because I burn firewood in the winter to help with the cost of living. I haven't paid for firewood in over 8 years because I would find it, get off my school bus, go back. If someone was there, I'd ask him. If not, I'd just load up my pickup truck and go. But I was aware when I drive, I'm looking for old Mopars, so Chrysler products. Those are my fancy, but looking around. The other thing, talking about
Now, hang on a second, Paul. Hang on a second, because you just said something that was really critically important here. You said that you like what, Chrysler parts?
Mopar, yeah.
Mopars, yeah. Plymouth, Chrysler, Dodge.
Okay, so now check this out. If Paul was somebody that you've identified as somebody that has influence or that you want to do business with, right? An intentional and on purpose person would have written that note down. Paul wants Mopar. I don't even know what a Mopar is. I'm not a car person, but Chrysler, Dodge, or whatever, right? Now, how long would it take you? Paul lives it's in Plano, right?
Louisville, Dallas.
How long would it take if we wrap this call up for you to go to the Google machine, find out if there is a junk Chrysler part or Chrysler parts or something, or a museum of Chrysler parts? It doesn't even really matter what it is. And then find that and then email Paul or connect with him on Facebook and go, hey, Paul, I was just doing a search and I found this. I don't know if it is of any interest to you in wherever you said you were, but I just thought of you. Boom.
Make that connection. Yeah.
It takes a nanosecond.
Yep.
Most people won't do it. So sorry, Paul, I totally cut you off.
No, you're fine. And this came across my email the other day. I don't know how many veterans we have on here, but LinkedIn is offering a free year of LinkedIn Premium for veterans if they qualify. So if you're a veteran or know a veteran, and I can't afford to pay for premium every month. It's expensive. But Cliff, when you're talking about how you do things on LinkedIn, that's what brought this back to my mind, that I need to sign up for it. And it's a service. I know Marcy lives on LinkedIn. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to sign up for this, I need to get her to look at my profile to, make it really look fabulous. But just a couple tidbits.
Are you a veteran, Paul?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Really.
You're welcome.
So couldn't Paul go on a call just like he did here and go, hey, if anybody on here, veterans, I found a secret thing that LinkedIn's offering right now. If you're on LinkedIn and you're a veteran, send me a private message right now on this chat. And I've got a really cool thing. I'll just ping you with an email afterwards.
Okay.
He's not asking for anything. He's not trying to sell you anything. He's trying to be an asset. He's trying to bring value. Right? Now, let's say, I don't know how much LinkedIn, whatever that fancy thing is, call it $200 a month. It's $1,200 a year or $2,400 a year. Well, if they give that to a year and Paul is able to turn a couple of veterans onto that, do you recognize that he's already put in his social bank account, if you will, $2,400 in value? It's a lot easier to then go back and say, hey, I have this I want you to take a peek at, if you already have deposited value in that social account. I call it a social account. So I love that, Paul.
They're all social accounts. Every account we go to, every meeting we go to, they're all social. Where can we add value to the other person? When we talk to people about money, we better be adding value and trust and protection, like all those things. Those are super important. I talked to somebody today and she said she just was, it's an amazing, never seen a deal like this in our whole lives. And she's like, well, I'm just not so sure about it. And I said, our job's to make you comfortable and protect you, make sure that you never lose your money. So we had a long conversation. And by the time we got done, she was comfortable. She went from scared to at least comfortable enough she could listen. Clarence, you're muted. You're still muted.
Well, he's taking himself
There
off.
we go.
Oh, yeah, Clarence.
Okay, I had a question for Cliff Morgan. Cliff, what are you doing out there in Florida?
Well, actually, I don't live in Florida anymore, but I retained my number. August 21st, I left South Florida. I moved to East Tennessee.
Okay. Why'd you move?
Well, to be closer to family, lower cost of living, more laid back lifestyle.
That's interesting. I know several people that have moved or are moving either to Tennessee or to Florida. And I lived in Florida for quite a while as a kid.
I hear it's not as laid back as it used to be.
Probably not. I lived off a dirt road, but you know, so it's a, and I didn't really live in Southwest Florida. I lived right in the center of the state. I lived all over Florida, but I live near Lakeland and those areas. But Florida, yeah, my understanding is it's pretty congested now. I just thought you might be doing real estate deals there. And that's.
We actually have opportunities all over the country.
What type of opportunities?
We can talk about that.
Clarence, Cliff
I'm
works
here.
with that. Cliff works with Nika, Tina, myself, and Stacy.
Okay.
He's
well,
part of our
Ricky.
team.
that's exactly why I tune in these calls.
Great. We're thrilled you're here.
Thank you.
Fernando, I know you came in a little late, so you didn't really hear Casey talking about what we were talking about today was how important networking is and a certain way to network. And I don't know if you have any questions, but I just wanted to make sure you got the 411 on all that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Peggy, and everyone here, and Casey. I put a reminder on my phone in 35 minutes to re-record my voicemail greeting.
Awesome.
Good.
It's such one of those things, Fernando, and thank you for that. It's such one of those things that you may not realize how you come off until you actually pick up and call yourself. Right?
And in case I would do business with myself, except that I had a breakthrough this morning where I signed up a year-long coaching client for who wants to improve his dating. And it turned out to be like my ideal client, my most ideal client ever. So because I have graduated to being at the level of being having that client in my life, my standard now is different.
Mm.
So my standard, where I used to be like up here, now it hasn't lowered, but I've reached that standard. So I need to push myself a little bit, 4% outside of my comfort zone to keep growing. So I need to translate that into a tonality and words for the voice greeting for my voicemail.
Yeah, awesome.
I also want to let you all know I did put the link if you'd like to sign up for Networking Riches, which is on the 22nd and 23rd of January. It is free, but you do need to sign up for it. Can't just show up. And the link is there. It's my affiliate link, because if you know Casey, Casey's the affiliate king. He is in everything he's in. He's an affiliate. And then he also puts out affiliates for all of his plethora of connections. So,
well, look, here's the thing. Every time one of us buys something online, some affiliate or somebody is getting paid for that. And if you don't think so, it just means they are more clever than you think, right? So just like if you have a favorite restaurant or you have a favorite real estate book or whatever, if you send that to somebody and they buy it and you get paid a couple of bucks on it, that just goes into your fund to help build your network and deepen your network. And maybe if it's something that you can't afford to send coffee mugs to everybody that you meet, maybe offering them something where they buy and you get paid a couple of bucks allows you to then be able to afford that stuff. So all my affiliate money goes back into helping me grow and build and solidify and connect with that network.
and who knows, it could pay for college for your kids.
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah.
you could take one of your clients out to dinner on that, or who knows? Or you could turn that into a Roth IRA and then have that double every 36 months, just little things.
Awesome. Anybody else? Yeah, Aiden.
Yes, Aiden.
I just want to say thank you very much, Casey. This was really informative. I really did learn a lot today. I just wanted to say thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Any other questions?
Well, I had a suggestion on LinkedIn. There are two things that are fairly new. One is if you go to your own profile, what happens is you can see something where it says a private to you. Let's improve equal access opportunity. And there's a link where you can click and learn more. They're showing you how to better utilize LinkedIn. And what I think is brand new now is on your dashboard. You could just click down a little bit and see your dashboard. You can see who viewed. You usually get a notice of how many people viewed your profile. Now you can see who viewed your profile, and just click on that link there and you see the different people. If people didn't want you to know, it would say that, but a lot of times it'll give you the information. You click on that and you can get information about them.
Thank you, Marcy. That's very kind of you to inform us, especially people like me who rarely get time to go through there. So now I know what to go look for.
Yeah, somebody emailed me the other day saying, gee, I hear you're the LinkedIn expert or something, and do you got any tips? Well, that's all very nice that somebody asked me, but for goodness sake, can you tell me about you, a little bit about you or what you're looking for, instead of just give me some tips? I was a little put off by that. You can comment back on that or not.
I'll comment back on that. It's if someone doesn't tell you a little bit about themselves, how do you know what kind of tips to give them?
Exactly.
What are they looking for? Who are they? Who's their avatar? What do they do for a living? There's 100 different answers.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Why put the burden on me to go to your LinkedIn profile and look you up, and I still don't know what you want from me. So thank you, Peggy. That was my thought. There's someone that I knew a little bit. I knew her from an online group.
Yeah, I would have taken it. I'll take it even a little different direction. Okay. I would actually have an email written that has my top 10 tips to help people make more money on LinkedIn. And I would simply say, hey, Tina, I'd love to be able to send that to you. Go over to my top10linkedintips.com, drop your name and email address in there, and I'll send you out this 10 tips on LinkedIn. And if you like those and you want to schedule a call with me after you look those over, there's a link to my calendar and we can have a chat.
Thank you, Casey Eberhart. You always come up with something brilliant.
Now I'm putting them on my email list that now I can follow up with them later on and say, hey, did you like tip number 7? Because I really think tip number 7 is going to help you propel your real estate business. Hey, are you ready to have a call now? Do you need some money? Because Marcy Green works with C Green Financial. They basically sell money. So yeah. Do you have a deal? Are you working with Peggy? Are you working in a real estate deal and you need some funding? If so, I'm your gal. And by the way, I've got this LinkedIn tip sheet. If you want to go over here, I'll give you your name and email address and we'll give you that out. We'll get that out to you. That way she's not having to go through and do LinkedIn tip after tip after tip after tip. You'll give me your email address. I'll tell you where to send it. Well, I don't want to give you my email address. Great. Well, then I don't want to give you my tips. You know?
Exactly. Tit for tat. And that saves Marcy a lot of times by having that already written up and ready to go.
Casey?
Yeah.
Peggy? Hey, it's Dr. Renee.
Renee.
Great to see you. This is my first time here, Peggy. Thanks for inviting me. And it's great to hear you and Casey. I took Casey's tip 7 months ago, exactly what he just told Marcy Green, that I have a half sheet, 10 biggest mistakes that people make going online to find love. And I did exactly what Casey did, because people ask me all the time, what are the biggest mistakes of finding love online? So instead of telling them, I did a half sheet. So it worked out really great. I got a lot of people on my email list from that one tip, Casey. Thank you again. And great
Awesome.
information here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Renee. And you see what she did is what Renee did was she took a common question that people ask her all the time, right? And she's just saying, hey, I created this beautiful one sheet that you can download, you can print. So when you're playing on Tinder, you don't do the, I don't know how you play on Tinder, but you know, when you're trying to find love online, have this sheet right in front of you. It'll help you increase your odds of finding everlasting love. That's becoming an asset rather than Renee going, okay, well, don't do this. Swipe. I don't even know how you play Tinder. Swipe up and diagonal 8 times for like whatever it is, right? But now it's not, it's allowing that person to get to know her a little bit better before they actually get on a call.
Thank you.
Awesome, Peggy. I know this was supposed to be 20 minutes. We went almost an hour.
Yeah, well, it's an hour show and no, it's perfect. It's exactly the way it's supposed to go. Anyone else have a question? A comment? All right. Well, thank you
I have a
very
comment.
Oh, good. Kathy, yay.
When I first heard about Networking Riches a few years ago and saw how long it was, like that's, for me, that's a really long time for me to sit and listen to somebody talk. And I've gone several times since then. And normally for me, if I listen to the same person, even for 20 minutes talk, like I have a hard time listening to the same person, but something about Casey, I can listen to him for hours and hours over and over again. And he just has such great tips and so much to offer. So I highly recommend that you all go to his Networking Riches. It'll be awesome. You won't regret it.
Thank you, Kathy.
I can't get my own mother to listen to me more than 15 seconds. So the fact that there are somebody out there, I'm going to send you over to my mom. Tell her. No, I appreciate
Yeah, you
that.
say that. So I will jump on top of that, Kathy. I started 8 years ago. I went to your very first Networking Riches where you offered the mastermind and I joined. And I have gone to, I think I have missed 2 Networking Riches since I joined, and you do somewhere between 2 and 4 a year.
Yeah.
Because, and here's the reason why, to me, this is so important. You are in a certain place in your business at a certain time. And then as you expand your business or grow your business or whatever happens, comes in or goes out, this work that didn't work, you're in a different place. So in 3 or 4 months down the road or 6 months down the road, you're in a completely different place or a slightly different place. And now something that was said, even though you heard it before, now, that would work. I could use that. Didn't I hear that before? Yes, but I couldn't use it before. Now I could use it. Now it will work. Now this has gone on we're going on to our 8th year. So this has gone on for 7 years. And I can't tell you how much it has helped that I would now sit and go, wow, I really could use this now. We are in the right place to use this. And this is Networking Riches. This isn't even the mastermind group. So you always get something great out of it every single time. And it is Casey, and Casey is a lot of fun and joy. He keeps at a very positive attitude. He's got YT, who is also a very positive attitude, more on a spiritual flame. I was going to say flame, but spiritual. What's the word I want? Lane, and Bijel is now in with. So Casey has grown. The other thing is Casey's business has also grown. And because he has grown, that also helps us grow. So we are now benefiting from all the other people that are in there and all his support team. So it's just turned into this. I'm never leaving. You're stuck with me. What can I tell you?
I love it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Okay.
Well, you guys, today has been incredible. I've really appreciated being here. Peggy, thank you so much for creating this amazing platform for people all around to come together and learn not only about real estate, but network and connect with each other. And what you and your team have been able to do and put together, and the amount of the number of people that you've been able to serve on both sides of that equation. I get excited every time I get a chance to talk to you. So thank you so much. For many of you, I'll see you at Networking Riches. We are going to have so much fun. If you've been before, come back. We've got a bunch of new stuff. It's gonna be a blast, and I'm super excited because it's been too long. It's been way too long that we've done it, got everybody together. So
Thank you, Casey.